Right, so in today's video, we have an update on a situation that I didn't think we'd be covering anymore, and it is actually the King Jewelers and ChelseaKing drama. And if you've been watching my channel over the past, month or two at this point, you will know that I've made quite a few videos on the situation, but I haven't made a video on it for quite some time. And that's because there wasn't any updates. In fact, ChelseaKing just completely stopped posting on TikTok. But in case you haven't seen the past videos, I'll try to give you a very fast recap, but there's going to be a lot of details I miss out because, like I said, I've made quite a few videos. I would be here for a long time if I described all of it. But yeah, like I said, very fast recap. This is ChelseaKing, a TikToker with 174,000 followers who made a series on TikTok talking about how a jeweler's actually lost her ring. The ring in particular was a ring that had been passed down generations. I believe she was either the third or fourth generation in her family to have this ring, and she wanted to put tanzanite into the ring. Now, this tanzanite she claims she paid $10,000 for. Now, since this has already happened, a lot of kind of experts in this field have came out and basically said that it shouldn't have been 10 grand. That's not to say that Chelsea didn't pay the 10 grand, but if she did, it seems like she's been overcharged by quite a lot. And also when Dawson brought in the tanzanite to the store, he had to write down how much the product was actually worth in case something went wrong and how much he would be entitled to. And he left it blank, apparently knowing that if you left it blank, it would be valued at $80. He didn't put a price there. But either way, she sent this ring and the tanzanite to this jeweler's, who ended up sending it to a third-party company to actually put the tanzanite into the ring, and it got lost in transit. In fact, it got stolen. Now, there's quite a lot of rumors and speculation throughout this, like, did it actually get stolen in transit, or did the jewelers themselves just take it and come up with this, elaborate story? But since my last video, we have now seen the police report stating that it did get stolen. That kind of does make it seem as if that is true. Obviously, it doesn't mean it is 100% true because it's a police report, but it goes into a lot of detail. It was filed before we heard about this publicly, and also it is something that is so easy to prove because the way they describe the situation, there would be cameras and whatnot. Like, it would be really easy to prove that this was stolen. Now, originally, when ChelseaKing was posting these videos, the vast majority of people were on her side. In fact, I would say 99.9% of people were on ChelseaKing's side and going over to King Jewelers and saying you need to compensate her. Now, when we ended up hearing more responses, it seems like King Jewelers did actually offer to compensate ChelseaKing for the ring with another ring that they're saying was actually worth more than the ring that they lost, but obviously Chelsea paid $10,000, she says, for this tanzanite, right? So the ring that she would be given for compensation is a lot less than that, even if it is technically worth more in terms of materials. And when talking about compensation, we then saw that Chelsea's boyfriend Dawson actually requested to get 25 grand from King Jewelers, and that was the compensation that he was after. And I mean, look, that was never going to happen realistically. And for me personally, like I said in my last video, it's a bit of a tricky situation because I do think there is wrongdoings on both sides, right? I don't think you can request 25 grand for a product that was stolen that isn't worth anywhere near 25 grand. And I completely understand how much that ring means to ChelseaKing, but unfortunately, that's not really how it works with compensation. From everything we've been told by countless amount of jewelers at this point, it seems like the products that were stolen was actually worth less than $1,000, the ring and the tanzanite together. But even though the 25 grand asking price seems ridiculous to me, there is obviously wrongdoings on King Jewelers' side. I mean, they didn't even tell ChelseaKing that they'd lost a ring for months, which is disgraceful. It almost seemed like they were trying to sweep it under the rug, as if this would just get ignored, which was never going to happen, clearly. But as well as ChelseaKing and King Jewelers being involved in the situation, there's also, a third party in here. Now, not the third party that was meant to be sent the ring before it was stolen in transit, but we're talking about Muerta and Co, which is another TikTok account. It's a jeweler's. Now, his involvement in this was a bit of a roller coaster because at first he was on ChelseaKing's side. He was saying, look, I'll offer you a ring that's worth the same type of value for free because I feel bad for you in this situation. And when he found out more about the situation, he changed his mind and he thought that Chelsea was actually extorting King Jewelers. Specifically with this 25 grand thing, he described it as Chelsea was saying you need to give me 25 grand or else. Now, it's also worth saying, I am yet to see anywhere that Chelsea said, give me 25 grand or else I'm going to ruin your company, like Muerta and Co said, but it has become very clear at this point that they did request 25 grand for the ring. And yeah, there's a lot more details that were spoke about in the previous videos. If you haven't seen them, I'd recommend going to see that first, but this is what brings us to present day. And like I said, Chelsea didn't upload a video for quite some time, ever since these receipts came out, right, about the 25 grand asking price and whatnot. A lot of people kind of turned on Chelsea and were more on King Jewelers' side now, and Chelsea stopped uploading. Well, that was until yesterday when ChelseaKing actually came back to TikTok to release a new video talking about the situation and more specifically responding to Muerta and Co.
So you think your summer was crazy? Well, wait till you hear this. This summer, some random creep online decided to make it his mission to rally the internet to hate me, and I think it's kind of silly.
I mean, yeah, coming in strong straight away, saying that some random creep came online and started, harassing her. Now, to be fair, he did first post saying that he wanted to help her out and changed his mind and voiced his opinions on the situation. Yeah, I don't think that's going to sit well with a lot of people. In fact, it hasn't in the comment section.
Wasn't funny when my address where my fiance and I live got leaked publicly. I felt very scared and unsafe in my own home, especially since there were millions of people being persuaded to hate me. But I really want to say that I felt so much gratitude for the millions of people who supported me.
Okay, what I will say, and what I've said in so many other videos, if her address actually did get leaked, that is so wrong, right? I don't believe Muerta and Co leaked it. I don't believe King Jewelers leaked it either. I haven't seen anything to do with that, but if it did get leaked by someone who maybe watched the videos, again, so beyond wrong. But also, Jack, who posted videos on the Muerta and Co page, is allowed to voice his opinions on this situation, the same way Chelsea was allowed to post her video, like, talking about the situation, right? It's the same thing. Now, I guess the big difference here is obviously ChelseaKing's involved in the situation with the ring. Muerta and Co wasn't really, apart from the fact that they offered the ring and they were talking back and forth with Chelsea and trying to find out more information about it, and they had conversations. But yeah, I guess Muerta and Co kind of put themselves in a situation, if you want to say that. But yeah, if you're posting multiple videos on TikTok with this story time that is going to cause a lot of different opinions, people are going to voice them opinions, especially considering they have been seen by millions of people at this point.
This summer, I was lucky enough to get engaged thanks to Genesis Diamonds. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about our engagement. It was really magical.
Okay, so she did actually mention in a previous video that Genesis Diamonds reached out to her and wanted to help her out. Obviously, they've given her the ring now, and I mean, look, I'm no, like, gem expert, but the stone that is in the ring is blue. So I'm going to assume that's Tanzanite. But yeah, I'm really glad she got a ring. The situation must have been so shit to lose a ring that meant so much to her, being passed through generations. I can't imagine how hurtful that must have been. And yeah, she deserved to get her ring, and she's now engaged, which is brilliant to see.
That leads me to this one weird guy who, as many of you have probably seen, began posting on a rampage about me and my family. Mostly false information, and I would ask this guy why he decided to do this, but clearly what he did worked, as he got the clout that he wanted.
Okay, so the stuff about the family, I'm going to assume is when Jack made that video basically saying that Chelsea and Dawson's parents are pretty well off and they come from a really rich family. He kind of showed like their home, which by the way was a video that Chelsea posted on TikTok. Multiple videos, in fact. It was just showing her own video. It wasn't like he just showed it from like some private website. But I guess his point with that is because obviously a big part of Chelsea's story was that she spent all her money on this Tanzanite, which again, unfortunately, seems like she may have got scammed for, which is really shitty. But yeah, like I said, a big part of it was that she is this kind of like small musician. Her boyfriend is like a tennis coach, I believe, and they don't have much money, so the situation's been really bad for them.
I'd like to ask this man publicly to leave my family out of this. I'm not even sure why they were brought into it in the first place, considering I haven't lived with them in 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, this is a point that I actually brought up in my last video, saying like, just because that she has rich parents, apparently, that doesn't obviously mean that she gets money from them. Who knows what her family situation is like?
I don't think this man would like it if I stalked his family and blasted a bunch of incorrect information about who they are and where they live online.
Okay, I mean, look, right, the words that she's using in some cases, I feel like are a bit much. Like saying that he like stalked her for posting a video that she had publicly on her TikTok account. It seems a bit much. Saying stuff like that, saying like blasting a bunch of information about who they are and where they live online does sound pretty bad, right? It does make it almost seem as if he went and like found out some secret information. Again, it was a video, and multiple videos, in fact, on Chelsea's on TikTok account. In fact, I think she made her own playlist on TikTok with her family home.
To be honest, I never watched his videos, but my family gave me the rundown.
Yeah, see, I think it's things like this which unfortunately will go against her. I mean, we will get to the comment section in just a second. It's not great, but yeah, making these claims, they call him a weird guy, saying he's stalking you and like leaking information about your family that was private, and then saying you've never even seen the video. It's not the best look.
I will say that I'm regretting sending him a thank you note now. At the beginning of all of this craziness, he was cosplaying as a kind and generous man for clout. And since he offered to help us, I sent him a long thank you note as a thanks for being kind in a dark time. Anyways, as you know, his true colors came out, and I would definitely take back that thank you note if I could.
Okay, I think it's fair to say she is not the biggest fan of Jack at this point, clearly.
I truly never expected any of this to happen. I just wanted to be heard, and I wanted to put an end to being silenced. It was pretty difficult to witness all of the negativity being thrown at me as a result of some stranger's desire for clout, and I never intended or expected any negativity to be thrown at anyone else, especially at a time that I wanted to be celebrating one of the most important experiences of my life. So I decided to turn off my phone and take a break from social media so that my amazing fiance and I could celebrate each other and our love without social media involved.
Yeah, here's the thing. I feel bad, right? Because obviously ChelseaKing has been through like a really shitty situation. And like I said, losing this ring that means so much to her, that's been passed through generations. I can't imagine how shit that must be. Yeah, this whole situation, if I was Chelsea in this situation, I would be fuming with the jewelers too. But also I do kind of understand how the responses go on TikToks in terms of like the comment section. And like when I was watching this video, I could just tell it wasn't probably going to be the best response in the world, like in the comments. You know, just the pretty strong labels that she gave Jack, and then saying that she didn't see the video, also saying that she didn't want any negativity in this situation, but she did also make like a whole series going at this jewelers, which again, if I was that situation, I would also be fuming at the jewelers. But you've got to understand these videos do have a very negative effect on the jewelers, and obviously that is your opinion if you feel like they deserve it, but it is just a fact. It could definitely damage the company. And yeah, like I said, I do feel bad for her. This situation shit, but I could probably tell what the reaction to this was going to be.
Now I'm in a place where I am sick of being silenced by men. I am sick of feeling unsafe in my own home, and I will no longer allow them to win by continuing to be silent on social media. So I'm back. Hi guys, I missed y'all. I'm done letting internet negativity affect me, and I want to get back to my music career and my life. I now understand the reality of bringing personal stories to social media and just how easily strangers can profit off of false information and hate.
I will say though, like selfishly, I would love to see like the response to said false information, right? Because we haven't actually really seen any proof of anything in Chelsea's videos. Again, it's just kind of her like talking. She doesn't show like screenshots or anything, right? So the only bits of proof are the ones we did see in Jack's video. I would love to see a response to that, but I don't think we're going to get that. It seems like this is kind of going to be an end of the situation here.
I'm wishing the best for all of you, even the people who think we're enemies. I want to get back to posting my music and just the regular stuff that I've always used to post on this account before this craziness happened. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing going forward. But I will definitely be updating you with the rest of this journey when I am able and allowed to speak on it.
Oh, okay, right. So, I mean, clearly it seems like legal action is being taken here. She's saying that I will actually talk about the rest of the situation when I'm allowed to. And I was actually thinking there, she didn't mention King Jewelers at all throughout this whole video. So I'm assuming that this is now a legal process. So I'll be interested to see how this works. I mean, legally, I'm not sure how this is going to work at all. But yeah, like I said earlier, if we take a look at the comment section, people definitely aren't exactly happy with this response. I mean, the top comment says, Muerta and Co is one of the kindest, honest jewelers. Don't be a hater because he was exposing you. Can you share more about how that information was wrong? Muerta and Co is a kind and generous man. Were they persuaded to hate you or just show the truth about your story? But yeah, we actually do have a response from the Muerta and Co TikTok account. And the reason why I'm saying it like that is because it's not who we've seen respond previously.
I'm not sure that Jack has even seen the newest ChelseaKing video, but since it's my day off and I saw it and I had a minute, I figured I'd come on here and give my perspective. I am John's wife, Caroline. I'm the other half of this business, and I've been here the whole time through this whole debacle, just in the background.
Okay, right, I'm sorry. I've called him Jack throughout all of this because she did say at the beginning, I'm not sure if Jack's seen this, but then said I'm John's wife who is involved. I'm a bit confused with the names, I can't lie.
But since she feels threatened by men, I figured I would be more helpful. But yeah, so just let you know, sweetie, my husband is not obsessed with you. I'm sorry. What he is obsessed with, though, is justice. He has one of the strongest moral compasses of anyone I've ever met, like to the point where it might be pathological. He lives for the truth. We're both that way. That's actually one of the things that drew us to each other. We are both very, very honest and get upset when people are dishonest. And so especially when he tries to do something nice for someone, and it turns out that the wrong he was trying to right by helping her out, was in fact, she was the one being untruthful the whole time. And, that's upsetting. So he only got involved in this whole thing because he wanted to rectify any kind of contribution he might have made to King's Jewelers being unfairly, treated.
Okay, so as you just heard, the response to this is that he wanted to almost make up for his wrongdoing in his eyes because he felt like he went against King Jewelers, who he later thought was actually in the right in the situation. Now again, people are going to have their opinions on who they think is right in the situation, but at the end of the day, he is also allowed to speak about it on his TikTok account like many people do when a big piece of drama happens on TikTok. People voice their opinions, right?
We have no ill will towards you. I'm glad that you got that ring that you really wanted. And I'm sorry that you got so badly ripped off on a magical rock. And I hope that this story is over, and I hope that you can move on with your life, you know?
And yeah, there we have it. That is Muerta and Co's response to this whole situation. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.